This is why I am right and you are wrong. Thanks for joining me, Master Art, here at Master Art's Combat Corner. Thanks for being patient for this video. I had to rewatch all the Rocky movies again for this so I could make the most accurate assessment for this fight. In this video, we will discuss who will win in a fight between Daniel LaRusso from the Karate Kid movies and Cobra Kai TV show versus Rocky Balboa from the Rocky movies. This is a topic that has been discussed before, but as a master of the combat arts, which includes both karate and boxing, as well as a fan of both the Karate Kid and Rocky franchises, I feel I am uniquely qualified to answer this question and end this debate once and for all. First, we start with Daniel LaRusso, the Karate Kid. Or I guess, man, since he is now in his early 50s, in the Cobra Kai series. Daniel started off his karate career at the age of 17 after being bullied by a group of Cobra Kai karate students. Daniel learned a defensive karate style that was later named Miyagi-Do Karate after the man that taught him, Nariyoshi Miyagi, and was inspired by real-world Goju Ryu Karate. Miyagi-Do Karate was passed down from generations and originated in Okinawa. Daniel continued to learn Miyagi-Do Karate for years, and in that time, he won 2 regional under-18 karate tournaments called the All-Valley Karate Tournament. The All-Valley is a full-contact, point-based tournament requiring 3 successful strikes on the opponent to win the match. It's hard to know how long Daniel continued training and how intensely. Eventually, Daniel did have to prioritize his family and profession as a car salesman and owner of a successful car dealership. As a man in his 50s, it seemed like he put karate behind him, only using it in his marketing for his car dealership, but after the recreation of his rival dojo, Cobra Kai, and run by his old karate rival, Johnny Lawrence, Daniel started training again and created a dojo of his own, Miyagi-Do. During this time, Daniel spent most of his time training his Miyagi-Do students, but to be able to keep up with his students as they continued to improve, Daniel had to continue with his own personal training and even learn new skills through training with Choson and Johnny Lawrence. So, how good is Daniel LaRusso? During the Cobra Kai series, we see him easily defeat multiple untrained men at once, and was able to go toe-to-toe with any other karate practitioner in the series such as Choson, Johnny Lawrence, John Kreese, or even Terry Silver. Does this make Daniel the best in his verse? Well, it is likely due to learning from Choson and Johnny that he may be the best karate practitioner now, but it is likely that he still isn't at the level of his old master, Mr. Miyagi. While Daniel may be the best during the events of Cobra Kai, he definitely wouldn't be able to defeat Terry Silver and John Kreese at the same time like Mr. Miyagi did in Part 3 of The Karate Kid, and he made it look easy against them while they were still in their prime. Now for the badass brawler, turned boxer, turned champion, the Italian stallion, Rocky Balboa. Rocky took up boxing after his father encouraged him to focus on doing something with his body since he didn't have the intellect. For a number of years, Rocky boxed low-level gym matches until 1976, when at the age of 30, he was given a championship title fight against the then-champion Apollo Creed. Unfortunately, Rocky came up short in a close banger of a fight, but it did show that Rocky had what it takes to compete against the best. Due to how close the fight was, Apollo wanted a rematch, but to everyone's surprise, Rocky not only declined the rematch, but announced his retirement. During his retirement, he tried capitalizing on his newly found fame by acting in commercials, but due to his lack of acting skill, this failed, forcing him to apply for regular jobs. With a lack of education and experience, he was only offered entry-level labor jobs, which he could not hold on to for long. Due to needing money, as well as Apollo's constant insults, led Rocky out of retirement for a championship rematch. After another brutal fight that had Rocky down on points, he endured everything Apollo could muster, and in the 14th round, Rocky did the unthinkable and knocked Apollo down. And with Apollo unable to stand before the 10 count, Rocky was declared the winner and the new heavyweight champion. As the new heavyweight champion, Rocky went on to defend his title 10 times, but found out that they were all handpicked by Rocky's coach for him to defeat. Rocky then went on to fight his first real non-hand-picked boxer in the form of Clubber Lang, going against the wishes of his coach. Going into the fight, Rocky was doubting his legitimacy as a champion and lacked the same heart he once had that led him to winning the championship in the first place. All this led to Clubber Lang overwhelming Rocky until Rocky hit the canvas and couldn't stand back up before the 10 count. And just like that, Rocky was defeated and Clubber Lang became the new champion. Former champion Apollo Creed was disappointed with Rocky's performance, knowing that his heart just wasn't in it. With the sudden death of Rocky's coach, Apollo took it upon himself to train Rocky to get him to the next level for the rematch with Clubber Lang. Teaching Rocky his style greatly strengthened Rocky as a boxer, no longer only relying on his chin, but has now developed impressive footwork and counter-striking. Rocky then went into the championship fight with Clubber Lang with much more confidence, and during the fight was able to utilize his footwork and speed to frustrate Lang. And as they went into the third round, Lang was exhausted trying to keep up with Rocky, where Rocky was able to land many nice punches to knock out Clubber Lang, and once again win the heavyweight championship. Approximately 5 years after Rocky regained his championship, Apollo Creed decided to come out of retirement for an exhibition match against a rising powerhouse from Russia, Ivan Drago. Unfortunately, during the match, Apollo took too much damage to the head and died from his injuries. With this motivation to get revenge for his friend, Rocky started training for a fight with the powerful Russian, but right from the start it was clear that this non-title fight will be an uphill battle for Rocky against his larger opponent. The fight was very competitive to the surprise of Drago, with both fighters going blow for blow until in round 15 and final round, Rocky was able to connect with a series of blows that knocked Drago out and given Rocky Balboa the victory. This was, however, the end of Rocky in his prime. After taking so much damage over his career, the doctor diagnosed Rocky with brain damage, forcing him into retirement. In retirement, Rocky opened up an Italian restaurant, only coming out of retirement once to fight the new champion, a young lion by the name of Mason Dixon, in an exhibition bout that the old out-of-prime Rocky Balboa lost. From there, Rocky took to coaching Apollo Creed's son, Adonis, never to compete again. So, who would win in a fight between Daniel LaRusso and Rocky Balboa? Well, since they are both primarily strikers, I will discuss the outcome of a full contact competition with kickboxing rules, allowing both fighters to utilize their full skill sets, and both will be in their prime. Physically, Rocky is only slightly taller at 5'10" to Daniel's 5'8", but has about 30 pounds on Daniel, which would be a problem considering how durable Rocky is when he is even fighting men larger than himself. When it comes to skill, Daniel is definitely the more well-rounded and versatile striker. While Rocky is powerful, durable, and with the help of Apollo, developed impressive footwork, he has only one form of attack to defeat his opponent, his fists. Daniel, on the other hand, utilizing karate, will come at Rocky with punches and kicks, and with the training of both Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, he has developed impressive offensive and defensive skills. On top of that, Daniel can use pressure point techniques he learned from Chozan to disable an arm, and against a boxer like Rocky would be a massive advantage. In conclusion, if Daniel LaRusso and Rocky Balboa fought in a professional bout, it would be a long and drawn-out fight. Daniel would likely start off fighting Rocky defensively until Rocky hit Daniel with a couple of good hand combinations. Feeling the power, and knowing he won't be able to take many shots from the larger and more powerful Rocky, Daniel would then think on Johnny Lawrence's strike-first teachings and try put Rocky on the back foot. This would likely work, as Rocky would have trouble defending against Daniel's mix of punches and kicks, but even then, Rocky would simply take the shots and keep coming back with flurries of punches of his own that Daniel with his greater speed would have little trouble defending and countering most of what Rocky throws at him. Some would get through, and each punch greatly hurting Daniel would force Daniel to focus on disabling the dominant right arm using the pressure point technique, which he would succeed. And with both fighters exhausted, hurt, and Rocky's right arm unable to move, Daniel prepares for one last attack, knowing that if he doesn't put Rocky away now, that Rocky will likely knock him out once he regains the use of his arm. Getting into the crane stance, and with a swift kick to a defenseless Rocky Balboa to the head, knocking him out, Daniel LaRusso is declared the winner. So that is my take on who would win in a fight between Daniel LaRusso and Rocky Balboa. This was a hard one to talk about because while I do believe that Daniel LaRusso would ultimately win in a fight between the two, I like the character, Rocky Balboa, a lot more than Daniel. I will explain why I think this would be the outcome of a fight between the two, so hopefully even if you disagree with me, you at least understand why I think this and not roast me too bad in the comment section. Firstly, Daniel's karate style gives him an advantage over Rocky's boxing. Remember that boxing is a sport, and train and fight against other boxers. Boxers only throw punches and develop the range and timing for fighting other boxers, which would be thrown off when fighting someone that is now smashing your legs and body with kicks. Just look at Muhammad Ali's mixed fight with professional wrestler Antonio Inoki to see how hard it can be for even an elite boxer like Ali fighting someone that will be coming at them with kicks and unorthodox strikes. Secondly, Rocky is a far more realistic character than Daniel. As mentioned, I have trained in both karate and boxing, and I can tell you that a lot of techniques that Daniel and others in his universe pull off just aren't realistic in a real fight. Rocky, on the other hand, is a far more realistic character, and one of the reasons I love both Rocky as a character and the franchise. Now I'll leave the question with you. Who do you think would win in a fight, and why? Also, I would like to know if you yourself have trained in boxing, karate, or anything else. Thanks for watching, and don't forget if you want to see some great boxing and martial arts action, you can do so with my webtoon, Akura Champions. Until next time, Master Art out.